What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Wednesday morning, September 16th. Fed chair is about to talk in about 10 minutes, 11 a.m. Pacific. I don't think that's really substantial at this point. NASDAQ selling off pretty good. I think a lot of that is, the Snow IPO happened today, which is the biggest software IPO in history now. Come on, iPad. I'm going to have to upgrade you to a new iPad here. iPad Pro or iPad Air? That's the question. All right, so this came out today, this IPO, the biggest software IPO in history. I think what happened is a lot of the people that wanted to participate in this stock in a retail level have a high correlation with the NVIDIAs and other growth stocks where people have been looking for other alternatives. And I think they used those winners largely as a source of funds within that. So Adobe had earnings yesterday, had great earnings. Initially had a pop, sell off today. You can tell the volume on the sell was definitely a professional. I mean, there's a lot of shares that are sold. Going back, we might test down to this 50-day, but I still really like this. Said yesterday, if this is going to be on sale today, we'll be here ready to buy it. So looking at Adobe, getting beat up today. Taiwan Semi, who makes the ARM licensed chips for Apple and both the iPhone 12, Qualcomm Snapdragon 5G modem, and all of the new iPad chips, those are made by Taiwan Semi. Keeping an eye on that. Trade's really, it's kind of a tangential play of Apple. If you look at the long-term chart, very similar. I think that there's a good chance that this, if it can hold this level, in the low 80s, like 84, if we can get a bounce here, we have a pretty solid pattern to break out and set some new highs. So keeping an eye on that. Again, it's been a really solid one. If you overlay it with Apple, the correlation is pretty crazy. But which makes sense. They make all the chips that ARM licenses to Taiwan Semi, and Taiwan Semi builds them. Just kind of looking through everything today. DraftKings is doing well with sports being back and doing well. Trades really with the COVID stocks and all of the news. We got some good news on the vaccine stuff today, so makes sense that DraftKings is up. Real estate's booming. Taylor Morrison is rocking. Kind of a weird day. A lot of the growth has sold off. And let's hop into our account. We're lagging the market pretty good today. They're getting beat up in DocuSign, which cannot catch a bid other than me. I'm the only person buying it. Surprised I'm going to buy a couple more shares. Still going small in here, but be a little tighter on this, but it doesn't matter. Okay, we got $8,500 left to go, so we're going to try to put another few $1,000s in our existing positions and just cost them down. I really don't care about picking off the pennies long term. We're going to be holding these positions through hopefully a bunch of dollars. So I just want to get the positions on. And if you look at the fills, TD Ameritrade is going to automatically price improve my order and get me the best price. So I don't even like messing around with the pennies. Square, Nvidia, Tesla, That's where we want to be. Let's add a little bit of Adobe on a break. I'm going to be patient with this. We're going to go share by share in Adobe. Some of the analysis of this company is so ridiculous to me. They're on CNBC and it's like they're talking to the CEO of, did this environment pull forward a quarter? And it's like, I've averaged 32% for the last decade, year over year. And going back 25 years, that number is 18%. I wish you would just tell her, like, yo, listen, we're fine. It's just ridiculous. Like, quarter by quarter, these companies that have been crushing it generationally are just going to fall apart. It's just a joke. Add a little bit more PayPal here. And after I just said we're not going to fight over the penny, let's just come in flat here. I'll come in a little bit smaller. Fed chair talks in 2 minutes. He might say something that gives us some better pricing. We're getting towards the top of our allocation. I just want to keep buying into this red, buying what I believe in, even though if it's been losing. I really like Trex. I want to see how this bid kind of shapes up here. Let's go back to our waiting. Then we're going to get a little bigger in PayPal. The more I got into that Apple news yesterday, it was boring, but boring pays the bills. All right, let's check our balances real quick. Okay, we're about 36K in stock and 6K in... Where are we at? Yeah, 5K. All right, yeah, we're getting there. Okay, so we're, 36K in stock and a little over 5K in cash. Bought close to the lows of the day. Let's hope for a little rally and we can get a little equity in this portfolio. Kind of getting beat up here, which short term is where you want to be, but long term is like, okay, let's get these bids going in the right way. Let's hop over into our sectors real quick. One last look. Oil is getting a bounce today, which, is just good grief. That industry has just been brutal. Yeah, and if you go back even longer, which this particular app can't go, but it's nasty. It's nasty. And the whole oil sector follows Exxon, and you can kind of see this chart repeat a lot, but the oil industry seems to be in major trouble. And then on the opposite side, if you look at the renewable or the clean energy side, some of these names, Sunrun, Solar, Enphase is a company that's really interesting, but it doesn't take a genius to see the difference between renewable energy and fossil fuels and where we're going as a world, how we're going to power the future. Laggers of the day, tech, semis, right where we're at, all the growth stuff. So just like yesterday, where these are ones that let us up, make you feel smart, the next day they will lead you down and make you feel dumb. And you gotta just know what you own, and that's why it's important to believe in what you're invested in. So when you have days like this, you can dive right in and confidently buy any dip where it doesn't make a ton of sense. I think that a lot of these high-tech names, I think there was a lot of selling in those names to free up some cash for people to chase Snowflake. What a world. 25 million shares on day one. That's great, though. I mean, I personally, I think that they run a pretty outdated type of technology. I mean, it's a lot of centralized hardware storage. I think that the future is going to be more decentralized, but we'll see. They have very smart people invested in it, so, I mean, what do I know? I just, I'm playing along. I like the decentralized cloud more because it's just more flexible, it's more secure. I'm trying my best to get information on the actual hardware that the Snowflake servers are sitting on, and it's really hard to find. But I'll keep you posted if I get any details on that. If you have any details on that, send me a link. But we're going to keep an eye on this for now. Again, we might have another session later on at the close. Probably going to keep some cash for the rest of this week and then start tightening up this portfolio. And just like we add share by share, if we need to trim share by share to get our ratios exactly where we want to be, that's what we'll do. So our trade plan is to have our core positions at the top, our top 5 positions, and then about half the size of those, we're going to have our next 5. And we're just going to keep an eye on everything we got. Our biggest loser so far since we started this project is DocuSign. And Taylor Morrison is crushing it. They're up almost 6% today. So I'm glad we hopped in there. And good old Tesla. Good old Tesla just chugging along. Super solid bounce off the 50. Battery day coming up. Giddy up. All right, we'll leave it there for now. Have a good rest of your Wednesday. I'll check in with you soon.